Boring video. Yes, we are talking about nibs, and I don't know how to make that exciting. This is for people who don't know nothing about nibs, and I'm going to try to explain it in a simple way. So, wish me luck, because I don't know how I'm going to do this at all. This seems way too complicated to explain to you. 0.5 millimeter is the width of the ink that comes out of the tip, which means that this is a fine nib pen. When you hear people talk about size 5 nib, this is 5.5, and the feed here is that size too, because the nib has to fit on here, and the size of this is 5 because in the pen, it's been drilled out. This area is 5.5 in the pen, and the feed that goes into that hole is that size, and that's why the nib is size 5. Okay, what is the most basic nib? Lamy Safari. It feels like a ballpoint pen. It rolls over the page. It doesn't drag. It's not stiff. You cannot tell the difference when you use Lamy Safari pens. It doesn't feel like a fountain pen. If you like that, then great. These feel too easy. So this is a classic fountain pen, at least to me. It goes not as fast as the Lamy because it feels different. This nib is more stiff, and it makes you write tighter because of the stiff or nib. This one sounds like a fountain pen with a scratching sound. So this is flex nib. You can see ink on the gap where the nib threads. Okay, this one is flexible, but it tends to be like this pen, seal nib. Both of these are seal nib, so they feel kind of the same, but this allows more subtle lift of the line when you write. But I can get medium out of it. Fountain pen revolution. Most of the pens flex is subtle, not like it's not like a river coming out. So this pen is flex nib too, but it's not as tight as the seal nib because it has a bit of gold, which means it's softer, somewhat softer. So this is middle of the road, and writing with this is easier than this one because it's not as tight. And sometimes I can get thicker line with this one than that one because it's loose and it flexes better. Gold is my favorite nib. Gold, as in, okay, this one here is, I want to say it plated. This pen was $40 or $50, so it can't have that much gold in it. I like gold because it's soft and flexible, and there's a bounce in your writing. It's hard to explain besides bounce. The thing about the pen is it's better than a more expensive pen. Okay, this gold pen was $80, but this one writes better than this one. It's plated gold, which means gold is outside of a seal nib. Gold is soft naturally. They add seal to it to make it harder. Gold would flake in pieces without seal added to it. But the best ones are these. Nib is, this is a gold nib pen. Yes, it looks silver. That's how some gold is. You have to look at it from a distance to see gold. This is a good nib, but the feed is meh. It should have an ebonite feed. This was a $200 pen, but the feed kind of ruins it. Wet noodle. It is so flexible, easier to write with, but gold has sensitivity to pressure because it's so flexible. Seal nibs or sif, so you have to put more pressure on the nib. Seal nib versus gold nib. It is personal preference. As a newbie, seal nib would be the best way to go because obviously money, as I try to show, and it's common. Most pens have seal nibs. I, I I think gold is best, but other companies make gold. Not all companies are the same. That's why some seal flex nib do just as good as gold. So there are no guarantees. Medium nib, fine nib, large nib. These are the width of the line that comes out of the nib. And this too is preference. Medium is average, and people with bad eyes can see medium better. And medium fine is for daily use. Large tend to be more calligraphy type thing. And if not, if you're using a large nib to write a love letter, good luck. Okay, time to get off this sinking ship. I hope it's not too bad of a video.